Okay, so what we have discussed in offline class, um, fine. Okay, so Java is a platform independent language and which will be runnable in all different operating system. Okay, so because of having its feature, the main featured bytecode, this code will be executable in all different operating system. As you all know, Java is a object-oriented programming language which is initially developed in the year 1995. It is actually initially owned by Oracle. Now some other companies are handling this programming language. And by using Java program, you can able to create mobile applications, desktop applications, even web application, games, database connection, and much more with this Java program. Because Java is the evergreen language, and with the Java program, you can able to create different applications. Okay, if you want to create a mobile application or a desktop application or even a game application, okay, with the use of this program code, with the use of this object-oriented programming language, we can create different real-time applications. Fine. And these are all some of the features of Java. Why we need to use Java? As I said, it is a very it is one of the most popular programming language. The main feature is it is executable on different platforms. Okay, all the different operating system will support. Okay, all the different operating systems supports Java program. So that's why it is very familiar and the evergreen language in all the areas. Fine. And it is also very secure, fast, and powerful, and it is an open source software so that anyone can use this Java language. Right? And it is free of cost. Right. So, as we have discussed in the offline class, this is the architecture diagram, the structure of Java program. How once the user or the developer or the seller developed any kind of applications with Java program, it will be converted to bytecode once the program is compiled by Java compiler. Once it is compiled, the Java file will be converted to class file, which is nothing but a bytecode form, okay, which that no one can read it. So this bytecode form will be executable in all different operating system. Fine. As you are seeing here, we have, okay. So how this bytecode is executable in all different operating system. Okay. So in all operating system, if we have this sort of Java, so all the Java package will have this feature JVM, Java Virtual Machine. So what's the use of this Java Virtual? What it will do? What this JVM Virtual Machine will do? So what it will do? It will convert this bytecode again to executable file, so that anyone can run. Okay. So if anyone is running this bytecode in their operating system, they can know the output. They can get the output of the program that is written, but they cannot get the original code, but then they can get the output with respect of this bytecode. So this JVM machine will be it should be installed in all operating systems so that it can execute the bytecode to get the output. So this is the basic structure of Java program. So initially, okay, so initially we'll have a source code, nothing but our Java program, and by using the Java compiler, Java file will be converted to bytecode. Okay, so this code, okay, this source code will be converted to bytecode, nothing but a class file. Okay, so normally in a folder, if you have created a Java file, say for example, file one.java. Once this file one.java is compiled, automatically it will create a class file. Okay, if you open that class file, you will see a code which is completely unreadable. That is nothing but bytecode format. No one can read it. No one can read that bytecode. Right? So only the Java Virtual Machine can read and execute the code. Right? So um, after this class file, okay, after the creation of class file, this can be executable in all operating system with the help of this class that is available in Java software, that is JVM Virtual Machine. Okay, Java Virtual Machine helps to run this Java code to get the output in different operating system. So this is the basic architecture of Java, what we have discussed in offline class. Fine. So how we can write a code in Java. Okay, so there is a built-in, okay, predefined syntax and rules has to be followed to write a Java program. So normally in C++ we have all the programming languages normally will have this main function, okay, where the execution starts to execute. Fine. So similarly in Java program also we have a in which we write main function in which we write the code, okay, Java code. So all the main functions should be declared inside a class. So two things that you should remember when you write a Java code. First one is class name. Okay, class. First one is class, and second one is the main function. So okay, so this is the main two things that you should remember. Okay, all the Java programs will have class and main function. So class, how you declare a class? This is nothing but an access specifier. Okay, access modifier or access specifier. So what is this access specifier? Access. There are different types of access specifier. Okay, mainly three categories. One is private, protected, and public. Okay, I'll explain these three things in class so that you can understand well. Fine. So normally, what is this public? Giving access to all. Okay, so public meaning giving access to all. Okay, there are other access modifiers like public. Okay, what are they? Protected and private. These three are giving access permission to the. These three are all giving access permission to the users. So normally in all the places we'll be using this public. What is the meaning of this public? Giving access permission. I'm giving access permission of this class to all. So whoever run this program will get the access permission. Okay, if you have mentioned with private, no one can access it. Private meaning, okay, only the authenticated user can use it. Others cannot use. Others cannot access that particular content or data. Similarly, if a class is defined with, say, for example, private class, okay, only the user who have created the class can use it. Others cannot use it. Okay, so normally all the classes will be declared with the keyword public. What is the meaning of public? Giving access permission to all. So anyone who execute this class can, okay, class can get the output. If it is defined with some other access specifiers, none of them can access it. None of them can run this program. Meaning only the user can, authenticated user can be allowed to execute this code. Okay. So public is giving access permission to all. So normally all the classes in Java program will be defined with the keyword public. So public class and followed by the class name. And now the class is defined opening of the main function. Okay, so this once a curly brackets is open, it should be closed. See, I have opened here. So it need to be closed at the last. Fine. If you have missed to close this bracket, you will get an error when you run this program. Right. So after declaring the class, I'm just opening the main function. Okay. So whereas in C and C++, we'll be declaring the main function with the keyword void main of. But in the case of Java program, we have to use, okay, along with the void main function, we have to use the static keyword public. Public, you know the meaning for public. Public, static, and then void main. Inside the curly brackets, you have to define the command line arguments. Okay, I'll explain all these keywords, all these terms very clearly in class so that you can understand more. Instead of static, you can also have some other words like final. I mean, static, final, and then some other word like that. Okay, there are so many other terms available to be used here, but then I will explain in the class more detail. Okay, so that you can understand well. Right. So after the before the main function, you have to define this keyword public static. There are some other term also available, final, okay, and then some other keywords. But then normally in void function, we have to use this keyword static. So public static void main. Inside the round brackets, you have to mention that command line arguments. What is the command line argument? String, square brackets, args. Now command line arguments is defined. Okay, I'm just opening the main function here, opening the main function, closing here. So before the class closing brackets, you have to declare the closing brackets of main function. Okay, so this is a very simple Java program. This is the very simple syntax how you write a Java program. Right? So the two things you have to remember when you write a Java program. The first one is class. Defining of class with the keyword public, as well as the main function also has to be defined with the keyword public. What's this public keyword? Giving access permission to all. In case if you are using some other access specifiers like protected and private, okay, meaning it is protected. You are protecting the information that it can be executable only to certain people. It can be allowed to be executed only for a certain people. Right? If it is public, it can be accessed. Anyone can access it. Okay? Anyone. Okay. Guys, can you hear me? Someone has sent a message. Can you hear me, ma'am? Anyone has sent a message? Fine. So if you want to convey anything to me while I take class, okay, you can also send a message to chat box. Okay. I thought someone has sent a message to me. Fine. So let me share the fine. So okay, so these are the some of the things that you should remember when you write a Java program. First one is class, and second one is main function. Fine. So after that, when you see this code, you can when you see this code, you can refer some other term that is system.out.println. Hope you remember what is system.out.println, which is a built-in function used to print or display the output. Okay, which is used to print or display the statement in the output screen. Okay, in case of other programming languages like C, C++, hope you remember it. Okay, normally we'll be using the built-in functions like printf, scanf, okay, to get the input and print it in the output screen. Fine. So, usually in Java program we have this function system dot out dot println. Inside the rounded brackets, you have to mention the statement that has to be printed in the output screen, and always this S should be caps. Okay, always this S should be caps. So whenever normally whatever keyword that starts with yes in Java program will be specified with capital letter only. Fine. So this is a basic Java program. So when you execute or run this code, you will get output as hello world. Since I have mentioned the statement inside that double brackets hello world, I'm getting the output as hello world in the output screen. Fine. So let me move on to the next topic. So what we are going to discuss. Okay, whatever things that we discussed today is in online classes, the basic concept of Java program. So normally we'll be discussing all the basic terms, all the fundamental terms for at least for the next four periods. Okay, but then after that we'll be learning advanced concept of Java, almost advanced concept of Java. I hope that you have not even studied those concepts in even in Python or C, C++. I think so. Fine. So all the modules after module 4, 5, 6 are all advanced concept of Java, which is completely very easy to learn, and normally all the projects of Java will be somewhat relevant to the topics that is included in module 3, 4, and 5. Fine. So if you have the basic idea in Java, if you know the fundamentals idea of Java, then only you can understand more we can understand more about advanced concepts of Java. Fine. So, and let me move on to the comments. Okay. So, the next topic what we are going to discuss is comments in Java. So, how you can use command lines. Okay. What is this command line? Normally, whatever code you write inside the main function will be executed by the compiler, by the Java compiler. In case if you want some other code that should not be executable, that should not be executed when the compiler runs the code. Okay, in that case, if you want to write a non-executable statement inside the main function, then you have to use the concept commands. So okay, so actually there are two ways you can define. You can use these commands in Java program. The first one is single line command. In case if you want to write only one line, okay, while the Java compiler executing the lines of code in Java, this particular line alone should not execute. Okay, if it is a kind of command line, the compiler should leave that line to execute the remaining line. Okay, if you want to make a particular line not executable, Okay, that line we call it as non-executable line. If you want any one of the line which should not be executed when the compiler runs the code, runs the Java code, then you have to use this commands. And then you have to use this command concept in Java program. Fine. So let's see how we can define, how we can use this command line in Java. As I said, there are two ways. In two ways you can write commands in Java. First one is single line commands and second one is multi-line commands. Fine. So if you want to read if you want to use the single line commands, then you have to use two forward slashes. Okay, you have to use two forward slashes before that line. Let me show you an example. Single line commands start with two forward slashes. Okay, single line commands start with two forward slashes. Any text, okay, between these two forward slashes and the end of the line is ignored by Java. Okay, see this example. We have a main function. We have a class. Okay, we have a class, and after the class we have a main function, and inside that main function, string arg, command line arguments is defined. Okay, opening of brackets, here closing of brackets. Inside the main function, when you see there are two lines of code. One line which is actually I have changed the color of the text, so it is showing just green color. But when you see in Eclipse or some other non-ID kind of code, okay, it will not show any different colors if it is a, okay, to tell us that it is a command or non command lines. Fine, but in order to differentiate the lines, I have made this line of code to green. Fine. So if you want to write a single line command in a Java program, you have to use these two forward slashes to tell that it is a single line command. Fine. After that, after that, after that, this is the line which I need to execute. Okay, if you want to execute a particular line, there is no need to define with two forward slashes. Right? If a line has to be, okay, if a line has to be, okay, execute, then there is no need for this two forward slashes. If you want to make a line as command, okay, a single line command or multi-line command, you have to use these forward slashes for single line command. For multi-line command, you have to use slash asterisk. Okay, so what is multi-line? Single line command. If you want to make only one line as command, then you can use two forward slashes. In case if you want to make multiple lines as comment, then you have to use slash asterisk, then asterisk slash. Right? Multi-line commands. So this how you can define. You can use these commands in Java program. Fine. So what are the things that we have discussed just far? The first one is simple Java program and second one is commands that we can use it in Java. Okay, in two ways you can use commands in Java. First one is single line commands and second one is multi-line commands. Okay, moving on to the next one. Java variables. Fine. So we are going to discuss what are all the different types of variables. Okay. What are all the different types of data types that we can use it in a Java. Fine. So actually, what is a variable? Variable is just like a container which will have values, which will have different kind of values. Either the value can be integer, or it can be a fraction values, or it can be a decimal values. Decimal or fraction of both the same, and it can be characters or alphabet or a single line text words. Okay, so these are all the different kinds of values that we can store it in a variable. So what is a variable which is used to store different kinds of data or information. The data or information can be an integer, or it can be a decimal or fraction, or it can be a alphabets or characters, or it can be a words. Fine. So how variables can store different types of data. Right. So what are the different types of data? What we call it as data types that we can use it in Java. So what are all the different types of data that we can use it in Java? The term which we call it as data types. Okay, as you are seeing this slide, these are all the different types of data that we can use it in Java. The first one is string data type, integer data type, float data type, character data type, and boolean data type. So these are all the different types of uh, data that we can use it in Java. What are all the different types? String, integer, float, character, and boolean. What is this string? In case if you want to store a word or a text, okay, in a variable, then you have to use this data type string. Say for example, if your name is Satish, okay, say for example, if your name is Satish, okay, and if you want to assign it to a variable, okay, so say for example, A. Okay, A is a variable which is having the information, which is having the string data, Satish. See, all the string values that we define inside the Java program has to be enclosed with double quotes. Okay, all the string values that we use inside the Java program should be enclosed with double quotes. Now, see this this type of data. What is this type? This actually a text or word. This word is assigned, okay, to this variable A. And what is this data type? What is this variable? Okay, what kind of data type I have to give for this variable A string? Right? So string. So in order to tell the compiler that A is a string data type, I have, okay, I have to mention the type of this data, that is string. Right? String. So string A is equal to 7. So this how I can assign values to the variable. Okay, so based on the type of data, you can define the data type for a variable. Okay, so these are all the different types of data types that we can use: string, int, float, character, and boolean. So these are the short terms, right? So instead of integer, here we will be using int. Instead of float, yeah, same float is same float. Character, char, char, right? And then boolean. So what is boolean? You know what is integer float? Float is nothing but if you want to store, I mean, decimal value. Say for example 1.1, okay, or 1.2 or 0.02. These are all float values. If you want to store decimal values, then you have to use the keyword float. And what about character? In case instead of assigning a word, if you want to assign a character, a single character, then you have to define the data type char, char. And what about boolean? Boolean is a data type which will store either true, boolean is a data type which will be assigned for a variable to store either true or false values, that is 0 or 1. Okay, so it will this boolean data type which stores values with two states, one is true or false. Right? So what is boolean? Boolean is a data type which will have only true or false values, which will have only two values. Okay, either 0 or 1, either true or false. Okay, normally true or false only, it is not 0 or 1, true or false. Okay, boolean data type, if a boolean data type is assigned to a variable, then hold only it can hold only true or false, right? So these are all the different data types that we can use to assign the to define the data type of a variable, right? So okay, so now we are going to see how the syntax for declaring a variable in a Java program. And what is this variable? If you want to, what's the use of this variable? Which is used to store the information, the data, the value. Okay, um, variable is a container which is used to store the value, store the data or information based on the data, based on the based on the type of data that is stored in a variable. Data type will be assigned to a particular variable. Okay, it can be a string, integer, float, char, or boolean. Fine. So we are going to now we are going to see what is the syntax. What is the syntax for a variable? Okay, as we all know, the same how we use it in other programming languages. Okay, if you want to define a variable with the data type int a, okay, if it is assigned with a variable int a equal to 10. So this how we will declare a variable. Say for example, if I want to declare a variable and the a variable which if it is assigned with value 10, then a is equal to 10. Fine, int a equal to 10. Now what is this int data type? What is this again? Variable name. Any name can be given for a variable. So there are certain rules to set a variable name for a okay, there are certain rules to set a name for this variable. Okay, so which will be discussed in yeah, later slides, and which will be discussed in next slide. Fine. So int a is equal to chance, which is how we declare a variable. Int a is equal to 10. Right? So now this a variable is assigned with value 10. Okay. So in case if you want to define a string values, or say for example character values, how we can define how you can declare character is equal to J. Ends with semicolon. Ends with semicolon. So this is how you declare a variable. Int my num equal to 15, system dot out dot println. Okay, now this value is assigned here. Okay, so here I have given example for declaring the variable. Example for declaring the variable. Okay, when you see the first example, the variable my num is assigned with value 15. Okay, so this value is assigned to the variable my num. Now, if you want to print this value, or if you want to print this value my num, this my num variable name should be declared inside the system.out.println. In case if I want to print this value a, how I can print it? See, a value is assigned with the value 10. Okay, int a equal to 10. Now I want to print the value of a. How I can do it? See, system, as you all know, system.out.println of a. Now this a value will be printed in the output stream because a value is assigned with the value 10. If you try to print the value of a, it should be given inside the system.out.println. What's the use of the system.out.println? System.out.println will print the value, will print the statement in the output screen. Okay, so this is how we declare it variables. Fine. So these are the some of the variables, how each data type is assigned to the different variables. When you see the first one is the integer variable my num is assigned with the whole number 5, and float a variable is given equal to the float value, fraction values, right? After that, character. So what is this character data type? Which will hold only alphabets, which will hold only alphabets. Okay, so alphabets or a single letter. Okay, single character. So even if the value, if the string values or character values are assigned to a variable, either it should be enclosed with single quotes or double quotes. If it is a string value, it should be enclosed with double quotes. If it is a character, okay, or single alphabet, then it should be enclosed with single quotes. See here, character my letter equal to D. So it is only one letter. So this value is enclosed with single quotes. After that, this variable my bool is assigned with the keyword boolean. Boolean my bool equal to true. As I said, either the boolean values are assigned with true or false. Fine. The last one is string my text equal to hello. So a whole word is assigned to the variable my text, and my text variable is defined with the keyword string. So these are the some of the examples of Java variables. Fine. And so these are all the memory space that is allotted for each data type. That's why we have discussed about the different data types that okay, the different kind of data types that we can use it in Java program. So these are all the memory allocation for each data type. So size of for byte is actually 1 byte is allotted for byte data type. If your variable is assigned with the data type byte, then 1 byte will be allocated for that variable. And if it is short, 2 bytes. If it is int, 4 bytes. Long. Okay, so okay, for defining integer data type also there is some specified range. Okay, within the specified range only we can allot values to the variables. Okay, out of the range, then it should be defined with some other data type. That should be long. Okay, if it is a larger number of whole numbers, then it should be defined with the keyword long. If it is smaller size, if the whole number that you are going to assign to a variable is very small, say for example 100, okay, then it can be assigned with the data type int. In case if you are more than that, this range, okay, if it is more than this range, then it should be allotted with some other data type. Okay, that is also applicable in Java program, that is long. Okay, and what about the next one? Data type is float, and 4 bytes is allotted for this. Okay, 4 bytes is allotted for this float data type, and double it is 8 bytes, and boolean it is 1 bit. Okay, as you know, 8 bits equal to 1 byte. For uh, the size allotted for boolean is only 1 bit. Fine. Character it is 2 bytes. So these are all the memory allocation for each different data types. Fine. So we'll see this casting, type casting, how we can convert from one data type to another data type in theory class. So if I teach this in online, definitely will not understand. I'll teach I'll teach you this typecasting, okay, conversion, how you can convert from one data type to another data type when after defining, after declaring a variable in Java, which can be done by using this casting concept. Okay, we will discuss this casting concept in offline class, fine. So now we are going to have a we have 20 minutes more, I think. So yeah, 15 minutes more. So now we are going to have a quiz session.